The Pelangwe Pass is an obscure but extremely well-engineered tarred pass situated near Ga-Nkoane in the center of the Limpopo province. To get to the pass from the south involves some complicated routing through a densely populated rural area, so travel is slow and you'll need to be extra vigilant because of traffic, pedestrians and livestock. The approach from the north is on a gravel road which is poorly maintained, but a 4x4 is not required. The landscape surrounding the pass is very unusual, with the predominant color of the rocks and ground being white. The pass and the small town at the northern end are named after the Pelangwe mountain, which is in the immediate vicinity. We filmed this pass from north to south. The pass starts off in the small village of Pelangwe at the point where the gravel road changes to tar. The ascent begins climbing at a steady rate through a shallow bend to the left, and as always in these rural settlements, be on the lookout for pedestrians and animals and obey the speed limit, which is 60 kilometers per hour. The road, still ascending at the same rate, now heads towards the hills outlined in a jagged formation on the skyline ahead of you. A small reservoir is visible on top of one of the necks, which is easy to spot because of the white scar caused by overflowing water cascading down the mountain. The road enters a left-hand curve through a minor cutting with a speed limit changing from 80 to 100. The gradient kicks up considerably at this point as the road now heads towards the summit directly in front of you. An impressive cutting is evident on the right-hand side, and the remnants of what was obviously a previous version of this pass appears on the left. The summit is reached on the apex of a shallow bend on the right at the 2.2 kilometer mark. After a short level section, the descent begins, and a host of small jagged koppies appear directly in front of you. There's a large open area on your right, with an access road leading to the small reservoir mentioned earlier. The road now runs straight and true for 400 meters, then enters a shallow turn to the right. The speed limit backs down again to 80 kilometers per hour, then almost immediately down to 60. The descent continues at a constant rate, and the outskirts of Ga-Nkoane appear as the road begins a shallow curve towards the left. There are houses interspersed amongst the small koppies, with a myriad of donkeys, goats and cattle wandering aimlessly around, so please be careful here. After this left-hand bend, the road makes a final bend towards the right, and then the pass ends as you enter a heavily populated section of the town at the 3.8 kilometer mark. Please note that the road does continue to descend gradually up to the bridge over the Moshlatetse River, another 2.2 kilometers further on, but we deemed it safer and more appropriate to designate the endpoint at the entrance to the village. Sit back, relax and take it all in. This is, after all, rural Africa.